Apathy is the murderer of all that breathes. And passivity is the extinguisher of all the world's dreams, and uncertainty is the suffocation of every passion that's unreached and every difference that's unmade. But I'm still waiting for the day when someone will stand up and say something. Believe something, fear nothing, and stop assimilating into another lost mediocrity, or another forgotten sob story, or another person drowned out by the sound of what they won't be. Because there is more to life than 80 years of living unremarkably. I know they say that we all die the same, with a tombstone and a name, but no one lives enough to change anything on purpose, because somewhere deep inside they still believe they're worthless, and their inner code curses the very chance they had at doing something worth it. And so the burning for something great fades, just like the strength of your lungs each time the smoke penetrates, so your mind can disintegrate the thought of doing anything other than what you're comfortable with. But we're all the same, aren't we? We don't want to follow, but we're too scared to lead, because no one wants to listen and no one wants to speak, so the silence becomes deafening. And it's weaving your fears into a tapestry, pressing against your airways and stopping you from breathing. But most importantly, it's stopping you from dreaming. And it's stopping you from believing that somewhere deep inside of you, there is greatness. And I wish that I could make you believe this. I wish that I could look into your eyes and tell you how to beat these unfortunate circumstances handed to you for no good reason. Because I heard you say, I didn't even want this. I heard you say, I grew up in a home as broken as my mother's bones were when my father beat her. And when I was 16, I left my pregnant girlfriend alone because I was scared I'd be my father's son if I didn't leave her. You said the mirror has been as cruel to me as men. It's like the nightmare never ends, purging myself just to try to make someone love me again. But nothing's working, and I'm still hurting. I still see rejection in every inch of my reflection. Won't someone please help me, because I can't get past my own distortion. I am broken. But we're all broken. And every one of us has evidence of wounds left wide open, all the while hoping that there was someone that would just pay attention. Well, I drove around the country and I heard thousands of stories of brokenness, each one told with a shadow of hopelessness, and each person searching for wholeness to be known, but each person thinking that they were completely alone. But you are not alone. And as surely as I believe in a hope that can mend my wounded soul, you are not alone. Sometimes the biggest lies we believe are the ones that we made up on our own, because nothing holds you back better than you do, and nothing keeps you quiet better than what you've been through. But have you ever stopped to think that someone else might need to hear your story too? That there might be someone that's hurting worse than you, searching for an answer to the problem they're facing. But the hatred keeps racing through their bloodstream, so they're releasing it through means of self-inflicting well. We live in a world where we let our hate give us the excuse to not make a change. But excuses, they can only hold the weight that you give them. And if one selfless act can bring someone freedom, then I will beat my drum to the rhythm of greatness. As long as I have breath in my lungs to say this. Apathy will always be the murderer of all that breathes. And passivity will always be the extinguisher of all the world's dreams, and uncertainty is still the suffocation of every passion that's unreached. But love is the cure to all of these things. And you're only as great as you'll let yourself be. You'll only change lives if you lift up your head and see that there is someone beside you that wants to know they matter too. So all existence is waiting. It's holding its breath, anticipating your next move. What will you do?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Yeah, the front row is totally here. I don't know about everybody else. How you guys feeling? Yeah? Cool. We're so excited to be here, guys. You guys are so much fun. Also, I'm not gonna lie, the guys were kind of threatening when they were walking, and I was like, I just graduated high school, but these dudes look like 10 years older than me. I don't know what to do about that. And like, I can like hardly grow a mustache, so like, when we got dudes that like got full-blown beards, they're just like, yeah, I'm an Iowa man. Check out my beard. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm out here to tell you guys a story, but before I do that, I want to share with you guys a quote. Would that be cool? Yeah? Alright, it goes like this. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. There's one guy who's like, that's deep, bro. It's me right there. No, yeah. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And it's true, right? Because you see people like Martin Luther King Jr., right? And Cesar Chavez, and people who stood for what they believed in and didn't back down and changed the world because of that. And so I want to tell you a story. Cool? Okay, so it's very cold here. We've affirmed and reaffirmed that many times. The story I'm about to tell you guys, hold on a second. The story I'm about to tell you guys is in this place called Jamaica. How many guys heard of Jamaica? Yeah? Got Bob Marley and like Rastaman, you know what I mean? Anybody like reggae? That was incredibly disappointing. Anybody like reggae? Alright, so this story takes place on Jamaica, and it's about this little girl. And what happens in Jamaica is because it's so humid and hot, it feels like you're just like walking through water. Because of the humidity, they get these tropical storms. And what happens when they have these tropical storms hit is it stirs up, it's almost like a smaller tornado, but it stirs up the water and brings everything that's from the bottom of the ocean into the waves, and the waves throw it on the beach. And so, the story is about this little girl who lives on the beach in Jamaica. And it takes place right after this huge storm had happened. And so she wakes up, it's the morning after the storm, and she goes out, she lives right on the beach, and like all of us, right, we wake up and we wipe that crustiness out of our eyes, we're just like, ooh, it's disgusting. And she goes out to the beach, beautiful day out, and she looks down and sees something incredible. Not one, not five, not even hundreds, but thousands and thousands of starfish are on the beach. Because what had happened was the night before, all the starfish from the ocean had been picked up and thrown onto the beach by the storm. And so like for you photographers out there, you're like, man, that's super sick, gotta get my camera right, and then we can take a whole bunch of pictures, because that'd be a pretty cool thing to see. But this little girl's a smart little girl. And she knows that, I mean, you guys are all in high school, right? What happens when you take a starfish out of the water? Yeah? It dies. It dries up and it dies. And so this little girl knows that, and she doesn't know what to do about it. So she doesn't want all these starfish to die. And so she starts crying, like the bottom lip quivering. You guys ever had that happen here? Possibly. Some guys are like, maybe. And bottom lip quivering and the tears running down her face. And she doesn't know what to do, so she does the first thing that comes to mind. So she runs to the first starfish, picks it up, and throws it in the water. She's like, what? And she goes to the next one, picks it up and throws it in the water. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one. She does this for a little bit, and there's this older man taking a stroll down the beach. And he sees her from a distance, like, what is she doing? And so he goes up to her, and he's lived in Jamaica a long time, and he says, little girl, what are you doing? It's okay, you can't save them all. You have to let them die. That's just the way it works, you can't save them all. But the little girl doesn't slow down. She goes to the next starfish and picks it up and holds it up. and says, "Sir, I may not be able to save them all, but for this one, I can make a difference. I may not be able to save them all, but for this one, I can make a difference." And then she throws it in the water. Guys, I think sometimes we need to be more like that little girl. That little girl stood for something, right? She stood for what she believed. And sometimes in life, it's hard to stand for what we believe. In junior high, I wanted to be like the Martin Luther King Jr., the Cesar Chavez, the people who stood for what they believed and didn't let anything throw them down. But it gets hard. It does. It's really difficult. Especially a lot of times when your friends don't agree with you. Or when what you're doing seems kind of weird. But changing the world doesn't come in these humongous acts. It comes in little acts. It comes in deciding every morning to stand for what you believe in and not to back down. Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.